What would I say? I'd say it gets better. But I had no idea, so I was the hugest loser of all times. I mean, I shouldn't really say losers exist because everyone's amazing, but if there was the definition of a loser, that would be me. Tears to my eyes, I can't. My body is not ready for this. I wouldn't speak to anybody. I just kind of sat in silence. And a vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. I never spoke out, and I never really did anything. But when I came to Churchill, oh my goodness, Miss Calder's acting class in grade 10 was a life changer.
I didn't think I was an actor. I didn't really think that acting was my kind of gig. I thought sports was where I lay.
What happened was I did my scene with two girls, Ryder and Karishma. One was Hannah Montana, the other one was Miley Cyrus, and I was Natalie Portman. And after the scene, everyone was laughing, and it was pretty great. People thought it was nice, applause and all that. And Miss Calder said, "Ah ha ha ha, Ryder, you were Hannah Montana, right? And Karishma, you're Miley Cyrus." And then she pointed at me and she said, "Oh, and what's your name?" And I thought she was asking what character I played. So I said, "Natalie Portman." And everyone started laughing, and they acted like it was the most hilarious thing ever. And Miss Calder began to give a great speech about how everyone has potential, and how she wouldn't have expected somebody as quiet as me to say something like that. And that just flipped my life upside down.
I look back now, I wrote, directed in a play, I've acted in plays. It's become this huge part of my being. And if I had just been a little more open in the beginning to discover that, I would have had a couple more years to just explore that.
My acting's better, and I'm really confident in my presentation and social skills now. It's pretty great.
So I want to say that you're all coming from different elementary schools. In those elementary schools, there are certain perceptions of what you're good at, what you're not. But high school is that time where you can challenge that and maybe pursue something that you're not, or you don't think you're that good at, but you might be.
I think my peers inspire me the most. And I mean, especially with dance, if I have other dancers in my class, they'll do some random movement on the side, and immediately I'll think of a way to incorporate that into my own choreography and to something else so that I can learn from them.
I canoed up the Little Shuswap Lake. It was like over 30 kilometers of canoeing, and this program was through cadets, and it just taught me what your limits are, but also learning how to push those limits and not being afraid to push those limits.
And I think it's most important to get inspired by what's around you and by people who are dancing at your own level. But if they are at your own level, they can also push you so that it kind of uses their energy and uses their talents to help you create something really amazing.
One year, the senior volleyball team, we ended up going to cities. And that was a big step because when I was on the team in grade 10, we were the lowest team, and going to cities, beating some of the toughest teams, and going to all the tournaments and actually coming with bronze. We could have taken silver, but we got bronze. It was huge because for me as a volleyball player, I had never dreamed that we would be able to go that high. Even though we didn't, take home, some BC championship, for us it was just a testament to that if you push hard, if you work really hard, you can get what you want and you can get results.
And so I try to put all my effort into everything that I do, but that's really hard because you only have so much to give. So for me, it's mostly about focused in on what I love to do. And if I love to dance, that's where I'm going to put in my most effort. So I'll routinely stay up way past my bedtime coming up with choreography because it's something that's really important to me and that I love to do.
Being 6 weeks with a platoon, these people become like your brothers and sisters, and that's what the atmosphere in the military is like, and that's something that I really appreciate and I strive towards. And in fact, I realized that's also why I liked volleyball, because when you go through these trials with all these people around you, and you finally get to the very end when you're about to finish your goal, you sit there, you look around, and you realize you all did that together. That was something that you all had to strive through, and that you all are gonna finish together. And that's why, in grade 8, sometimes when you first walk in and you're so worried about friends, you're so worried about how you fit in, and having those experiences, like how you're gonna be, how you're gonna place yourself, and I think in grade 8, from what I remember, perceptions was a huge idea, it was a huge barrier that sometimes held you back from doing certain amazing things, and I think that you should just try to look past that and do as many things as you can.
No one cares what you do, and that sounds really bad, but no one is looking at you all the time. So you might be this really creative person who just is super shy or keeps that secret, but I would say don't be afraid to let that out and explore, especially for theater, Churchill, or anything audition-wise, even with sports, to just go for it.
One of my actors who tried out this year and was in my play, he had never acted before. Actually, a lot of them had never acted before, and they thought they assimilated with being more on the sciences side. And when I saw them on stage, they just brought this presence, this aura that was perfect for stage. And you wouldn't have ever known that if you hadn't tried out.
And I think we get too caught up in, oh my gosh, this is gonna look really stupid. I can't do that because I want friends.
So don't be afraid to see who you might be, because at 13, 14, you guys might think you know what you are or what you're all about, but it changes in 5 years.
I'm not sure. Being valedictorian this year is a really nice, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a flip of my life, because in grade 8, I wasn't really known by anybody, and I wasn't part of anything. But now, in grade 12, I'm valedictorian. I'm representing the grad class of 2014, which is pretty cool. So, part of spring play, we were all supposed to become an animal and go into a certain corner of the room and start acting.
There's always someone watching you in the audience.
So I chose octopus because I'm really wiggly. And I walk into the middle of the room and I just start wiggling.
So no matter what, if you're on stage, even if you hate the choreography, you hate the dialogue, you hate the song, no matter what, always do your best, because you never know when there is an agent in the audience or your next director who's watching it.
And everyone's staring at me. They're all in their circle. I'm wondering why they aren't going to a random corner of the room and acting as their animal. And I'm an actor, so I don't break character. I'm wiggling. And everyone just keeps staring. They're not moving. I can't keep my balance on my feet, so I eventually fall to my knees. And I'm still wiggling because I'm an actor. I don't break character. So there I am. I'm wiggling until I can't keep my balance on my knees anymore, and I eventually fall to the ground. But I'm an actor. I don't break character. So there I am, violently flailing my limbs, vibrating across the ground, thrashing in every way possible, and everyone's staring in horror. And I finally stop, and I look up at people, and I'm like, what's going on, guys? And they all burst into laughter, and that's when I learned that they all thought I was having a seizure, and I wasn't being an octopus.
I definitely know people who have just done regular high school shows who have been called up by agents and have been like, hey, that was a really good performance. We would be interested in working with you.
At the end.
Always perform like it's the best thing in the world.